prisoner swap.
I'm just excited to see him.
As war rages in Ukraine, the U.S. makes a diplomatic deal with Russia. History in space.
We're ready to go to work and get started.
As a first-of-its-kind mission docks at the ISS. Plus, a school resource officer in Florida
we have need here at our school.
Protects and serves her students. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Juliana Estrepo.
And I'm Zitlali Solache. Today's Thursday, April 28, 2022.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Heading home, parents learning a U.S. Marine held captive in Russia will be returned to them. Relations between Russia and the U.S. have been icy since the invasion of Ukraine.
As CNN's Isabel Rosales reports, that what makes yesterday's prisoner swap even more surprising.
American Trevor Reed, a free man once more. U.S. and Russia agreeing to a prisoner swap.
It's been almost 1,000 days, so I'm just excited to see him.
Reed's parents calling his release an answer to their prayers.
Finally, after waiting all this time, I'm going to be able to hug my kid, and put my arms around him.
The Texan had been detained for nearly 3 years on charges of fighting with Russian police.
He looks terrible to us. I mean, as his parents, we know he does not look well. He's very thin.
He was walking strange, and it looked like they had to help him get up in the airplane.
As part of the deal, the U.S. releasing a Russian pilot sentenced for drug trafficking. But no answers yet for 2 other Americans still under Russian detention. Basketball star Brittany Griner and former Marine Paul Whelan.
Our work is not yet finished. Of course, we're going to continue at it.
In a devastating move, Moscow cut off NATO countries Poland and Bulgaria from its gas supply after they refused to pay in Russian rubles. It's a move the EU is calling blackmail. Russia reporting blasts on their territory, 3 regions bordering Ukraine. This Russian ammo depot up in flames. And this drone video from March shows Russian military vehicles and forces near civilian bodies in Bucha. New video evidence contradicting Russia's repeated denials of responsibility for the mass killings. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
An update this morning from Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease specialist, says the pandemic phase is over. While the rest of the world continues this situation, the United States doesn't have hundreds of thousands of infections, hospitalizations, or deaths. According to Dr. Fauci, the U.S. is at a low level right now with COVID. He says globally he would still consider it a pandemic.
It's the end of the career with this morning for Miami-Dade School Board Chair Perla Tavares-Hantman. The District 4 representative, who has been on the board since 1996, announced yesterday that she would not be seeking re-election. Over the course of her career, she was elected chair 14 times.
Today is the first day of retirement for Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. Yesterday was the last day Justice Breyer attended the bench to hear oral arguments. Breyer announced in January his plans to step down at the end of the term. When the next season begins, Justice Breyer will be replaced by newly confirmed Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson from Miami.
The International Space Station is a crowded place this morning after the overnight welcome of the SpaceX Crew 4 astronauts. The crew replaces a Russian crew which will be leaving soon. Crew 4 will be aboard the ISS for the next 5 months. Their mission is to conduct various experiments and perform technology demonstrations. One of its astronauts is the first black woman to be assigned to a long-term mission in space.
The Marlins going for win number 4 in a row.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
I want it to be comfortable for the kids. So I wanted to make it look like a store, like a boutique, because I know I love boutiques and I love consignment shops.
From interviews to school dances, price no longer prevents students at one Florida school from getting the clothes they need. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
A program launched at a Florida school giving students access to free fashion. And a school resource officer in St. Petersburg is not only keeping the students safe.
As we learned from Spectrum Bay News 9, Sandra Weathers, she's also making sure they have clothes that fit nearly every occasion.
I'm like, hey, my students, we need clothes. If you have anything that you like to donate, hey, we have need here at our school.
Stacks of shirts, shorts, and pants were just part of the response St. Pete Police School Resource Officer Grace Albritton got when she asked for donations.
We have here shoes, for the prom, for the ladies. And here I also made this makeshift little dressing room in case they're here and they need to try on something. And I even have this bulletin board that I made that says, "Smile, you are amazing, confident."
Confidence she's hoping to build with students every day.
I'm getting choked up now. But when he came in and said he never had clean clothes, that really made me want to do more for the kids as well. Because you don't realize, how many kids need help.
Help in the form of a closet.
So basically, I tried to make it, I wanted it to be comfortable for the kids. So I wanted to make it look like a store, like a boutique, because I know I love boutiques and I love consignment shops. So I tried to make it where it looked like they can actually shop for their clothing.
Clothing for all students.
And I know that our football team come here because they have to dress up every Friday, game day, and a lot of them don't have dress shirts or ties. So the coach sent them here, and of course we have it for them. So
the best part is everything in this grab-and-go closet is free. We're talking new and gently used clothes, shoes, purses, and toiletries too. All free to any student at Gibbs High School who needs it. So it's a need Officer Albritton is all too familiar with.
I wish they had something like this when I was in high school or middle school, because we didn't have it growing up. We didn't have the means. It was the bills or other things.
When students like Kaden Potek walk through these doors, it's transformational.
My family doesn't have a lot of money. I've been wearing pretty much the same things since around 5th grade because I haven't really grown. I'm actually wearing shoes from the Grab and Go at the moment, which is really cool. I found these perfectly good condition, completely new, my size, perfect.
Now Potek is looking for a different shoe.
So the shoe section is going to be right over here.
With a prom dress already picked out the day before, there's only a few details left.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That reaction of excitement and joy about having basic necessities are what Officer Albritton says will keep the doors of this grab-and-go closet boutique
dresses that people have taken care, probably only worn once,
at Gibbs High School open for years to come. In Pinellas County, Sandra Weathers, Spectrum Bay News 9.
It's 4 wins in a row for the Miami Marlins. The latest victory was last night in Washington, D.C. against the Nationals. Miami jumped out to 2-0 lead before hanging on to win 2-1. The same two teams played this afternoon at 1:05. Miami has a winning record for the first time this season.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache.
I'm Juliana Estrepo. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.